All right. So apparently, I have been going through technical difficulties with my channel. Anyhow, the people who have been first, it was who was it? This is for the playback, by the way. I don't expect anyone to be here. Hey, what up, Only JS? What's going on? Don't you people sleep? Guys, go to sleep. This is for the playback. This has nothing to do with anyone right now. Basically, yesterday, from yesterday, ever since yesterday, I've been basically thinking. And apparently, I get why now people keep like they got me twisted up. They got me twisted. They don't understand. Maybe they've never met someone like me before who does things a particular way. I will never fight you, win or lose. I'm not measuring any penises. This is not about ego. I will never fight you. If you meet me on the street and you don't know that you are a grown ass person and that I am a grown ass person, then you put your hands on me, the only thing that will occur is that you'll get arrested. That's the only thing that's gonna happen. You and I are not gonna trade blows. We're not gonna have a nigger moment like they are on Boondocks. That's not a thing. You understand? So with you, Macho, and I know either you will watch this or one of your cronies will go and tell you about this because you guys love the bochinche. You love drama, right? So you'll come across this at some point. I have no desire, Macho, to measure penises with you. We're not children. I'm a grown ass man. I expected you to be a grown ass man, but apparently you're not. Apparently you're not. Apparently you are a child. And again, three things will happen. If, not if, I plan on actually going to New York soon. When I go to New York, and New York can be a very small place, believe it or not, especially if people engage in recreational activities like maybe going to cafes or going to bars, etc., going to clubs. So it can be a very small place at times. So three things will happen when I go to New York and if you approach me for a fight. One, I will be recording. I'm always recording. Number two, if you swing, I will let you hit me. Now the thing is, you're pudgy and slow. I saw when fighters snuck up on you. You move like a dinosaur. You are an old woman, Macho. You are a doña, Macho. You go through hot flashes. You're going through menopause, Macho. You can't spend 2 minutes on a live stream without screaming at someone, Macho. Whether that's an enemy, but I've seen you scream on friends, Macho. So while I can dodge anything you throw as an old woman, because I have played around with my grandmother before, that will be what this will be like if I wanted to actually fight you. My footwork ain't nothing to fuck with. You'd be swinging and there would be no one home. You wouldn't hit anything. Okay? That's if I were in the scumbag days. I'm no longer a scumbag, Macho. What's gonna happen is I will let you hit me. That's the second thing, right? Number three is I'll simply get you arrested. I'm a grown ass man, Macho. I'll just simply get you arrested. There'll be a fourth. The bonus thing that will happen is I will get you sued, Macho. So not only am I making more money than you right now, Macho, I will actually take the shirt off your back in the legal courts, Macho. I'm a grown ass man. This is grown man shit. Now, the reason why I'm making this live stream is that I want to actually shed a light on the pitfalls that can occur when you're trying to get ahead in life and then some low life idiot who's not doing anything with his life but going around smoking cigars, wearing tight ass pants on his skinny ass legs, looking like Gru from Unspeakable Me, right? And saying unintelligible shit to people about race and culture and Dominican this and Afro American that, right? Speaking on things they have zero knowledge of. So when we have someone like that, okay? When we have someone like that, yeah, only JS. That's the thing. See, these people think I'm. If you insure your house and you intentionally burn your house down, do you think you'll reap the benefits of that insurance? I don't think so. I've insured my hands. There are too many things I have riding on my hands right now. Everything I do right now is based on me working with my hands. And I have a mortgage to pay, I have bills to pay, I have insurance to pay, I have debts to pay off. And so I'm going to go trade blows with Macho. I'm going to roll around with pigs. And then the pig is happy as an angel in heaven. But meanwhile, I'm covered in pig and feces and mud, pig mud and pig feces. Makes no sense. So I wanted to actually tell the people who I'm trying to build with right now, they can get wrapped up. No, I'm not. Listen, Mr. Parker, let me address Mr. Parker here. Carry a firearm. Mr. Parker, believe it or not, I am licensed to carry in every state that I go, right? So the reason why I have not gone to New York yet is because my, license to carry in New York, that's still kind of like up in the air. I haven't worked out that paperwork. So I'm not going to New York unless I'm licensed to carry. But, right, if I'm licensed to carry, I have a responsibility to not get into situations where I get to use the gun. People don't realize this. When you have a license to carry, it doesn't mean you, all right, I got my Desert Eagle, I got my Ruger, I got my 9mm. I get to go and be the cock of the walk. That's not how that goes. You will quickly lose your license if that's your attitude. Because when you face that judge and the judge asks you, sir, you know you're armed and you know you have the last word. See, the last word is no, no, no. See, you're setting Parker. See, people don't understand what the no, you can't. No, 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 no. Listen, Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker, is it Mr. Parker? Mr. Parkins. Mr. Parkins. The moment that someone like Macho or Salam asked me to come and fight, and I actually go to that city, it's no longer really in the realm of self-defense. I'm actively participating in a situation where I get to use the gun. The judge is going to throw the book at me. I actively sought out the situation. It's no longer self-defense. Are you serious? No, don't do that. If Mr. Parkins, if you're licensed to carry, don't do that, bro. You're gonna lose your license very soon if you do that. If that's your attitude, you can't. In fact, what happened to the guy Michael McLaughlin, for example? He was licensed to carry in the state of Florida, and he tried to invoke the stand your ground rule or the stand your ground law when he actively sought a confrontation with Marquise McLaughlin. No, I forgot the name of the black man who basically pushed the guy on the ground and the white guy on the ground, and the white guy pulled out his gun and shot him. The white guy actively sought out that confrontation. Okay, he actively sought out that confrontation. He was being like a little busybody. Oh yeah, I'm the parking meter of this parking lot out in front of a store. And then when the guy and his girlfriend and his children pulled into the parking lot, and he went in there with a son. The black guy went in there with a son, and they went and they got some sort of slushy or whatever, and they're coming back with potato chips, right? And This guy, the white guy, he approaches the woman, looks in her car, like, his face is all pressed up against the glass, looking in her car. What are you guys doing here? I don't see any handicap parking sign inside your car. Why are you in the handicap parking space? And he actively sought out that confrontation. So when that confrontation came to a head, and then a shot was fired from his gun, yeah, that guy's doing something like 30, 40, probably 50 years at this point. you know they threw the book at him. So no, I'm licensed to carry. I'm not licensed to carry in New York. That's why I'm not really going there, because um you know when I go there, depending on the kind of morons I meet there, I will need to actually be carrying. And so I'm not going there yet until my paperwork gets worked out. But going there, I don't need a gun for Macho. I don't. Again, I will look, he's pretty slow, so I'll have to really try really hard in order for him to hit me. But I will let him hit me. I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna move. Then when he does, I'll have him arrested. This guy here, anti-Haitiano. Anti-Haitiano. Wow, Marjorie really hurt your feelings. This is what I'm talking about. These are children. Let me kick you off this platform. Like, I'm gonna start kicking people. I used to be a free speech absolutist, but I'm kind of figuring out that if I want to progress and move ahead, I cannot be a free speech absolutist around these people. Hey, anti-Haitiano, especially with that name, you're getting off this platform. Well, remove you here. Remove. There you go. Get off the platform. Get off my platform. We're not doing this. We're not doing this anymore. Anti-Haitiano. No, you're out. Bye. Now, the problems that we're having in the black and brown community at this point. Hold on one second. What are you trying to say, Mr. Parkins? Give me a second. Let me answer your questions here. New York made bulletproof vests illegal. Wow. So you can't even protect yourself in that state anymore. Because I heard that they did that in LA, right? So with LA, you can't have a bulletproof vest. So now in New York, you can't have it either. So not only are you, in danger and you're being stopped and frisked, but now you can't even protect yourself from morons and even police. All right? You can't even protect yourself against police. What are they afraid of? Are they afraid you're going to try to rob a bank while wearing a bulletproof vest? Well, why? Why are you afraid of that? Because SWAT, the people who will actually stop you, which are SWAT, their weaponry and their caliber of bullets, they go through any civilian vest, right? These people are crazy. Anyhow, um, well, where was I here? What we have to understand is if we're gonna move forward in life in general and in the society in particular, we have to not engage with people like Salam. You know what? Me and Salam are in a good space now, right? So I'm not gonna go towards Salam, but at the time, Salam was being kind of a scumbag, asking me to go and fight. Again, why would I do that? It's one of those things where it's no longer, not even no longer, it's never been about, but let's say it was about. It's no longer about ego. You can't actually go around measuring dicks with people. It can't be about ego. When you're an A, what's going on, truth teacher? Good morning. If you're engaged in a fight, do you realize that no one wins a fight? Unless you're a professional fighter, then definitely someone won a fight. But as far as like a fight, no one wins a fight. Basically, especially in the society right now, no one wins a fight. You're both gonna look like idiots. Have you guys ever seen non-professionals fight? I'm not a professional fighter. To my knowledge, Macho is not a professional fighter. So what are two grown men, right, past the age of 20, going to look like throwing blows in the middle of the street? What are we going to look like? And he says, "Well, I have a team," and that's the other thing too. I plan on addressing this later. He punked Rican Delphia on Rican Delphia's own stream. right? It's Ricandelphia's stream, and Ricandelphia is the host. And then this guy says, "Well, my team, if I tell him to kick you off, he's going to kick you off because my team does whatever the hell I say." So, Ricandelphia, you're a beta male. If you're listening to this, Rican, you're a beta male. Anyhow, if you're not a professional fighter and it's not a professional fight platform, don't fight in the street. No good can come of it. You look like a moron. You look like an idiot. I've seen too many karate experts, Brazilian jiu-jitsu experts, and all these sorts of specialists, and they get into a fight that is not basically curated by a professional, and what it looks like is two ghetto girls throwing their hands over each other's heads. That's what it looks like with no referee. So now we're not even professionals. I'm not even an expert at Krav Maga or anything like that. So now me and this big ass 6'4" idiot slowpoke looking like a fucktarded dinosaur with skinny ass Gru legs. This dude, he looks like Gru from Despicable Me. You guys remember Despicable Me? Have you seen when Fighter snuck up on Macho in that video? He looks like He's got the skinniest legs I've ever seen, and then he's top heavy. In my scumbag days, I would totally just destroy his legs and watch him fall down. But we both still look like idiots. No one wins a fight unless it's in a professional setting. So we look like two morons. And then we both incur injuries. Now, for him, who has nothing going on, the only things he uses his hands to do is jerk off and hold cigars. My hands, I have to sustain a living with my hands. I have a mortgage to pay, I have bills to pay, I have debts to pay off. I have copay for a particular family member who's paying off medical bills, and I'm helping pay that. And I'm doing all this with my hands. So how am I going to look when the bills are due? Am I gonna tell them, hey, listen, I can't pay the bills because I usually, this is how I use my hand to pay these bills, but I was in a fight and then I damaged my hand. I can't draw. I can't do graphic design. That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. So what we want to do is actually think. That's why the thumbnail says think while it's still free, because a lot of us are not doing that right now. You got a lot of these insecure snow taps and Hispano taps and Latino taps and road taps, those who believe that they were Romans, we was Romans. You have a whole lot. Hold on one second. Truth teacher said that's why God made bats. Absolutely. However, truth teacher, that would make me even worse because now I end up in jail. See, I show up with a bat and I beat, macho down like a piñata, and then now I'm in jail. Okay, so that's even worse. That's worse than me sitting at home with a broken hand and can't draw and can't do graphic design and can't do my work. Now I'm actively in jail, going in and out of court, waiting for actual prison. No, that will never work, right? And so, where was I here? You never let me have any. All right, truth. Now, where was I here? Let me see if I can remember where I was. Truth teacher. Truth teacher's a bad influence. But we have to start think while it's still free. Okay? We're trying to progress in life and in the society, and we're trying to move forward here. We're trying to build things. Me, Radical Latino, Denise, and other people, even Melanated Knight, he's actually going to come on the show that me and Rad are putting together, right? We're going to talk about geek things, geekdom, nerddom, these sorts of things. And most of those things, even though I have artists who work for me, right? A lot of the work I do by, well, why should I tell you? Why not just show you? Give me a minute. Share the screen. I guess I should share audio just in case, like my sound wants to act up. And let's go to Window, Photoshop. Let's see what's what here. And let us get rid of this here. All right. So take a look here. I actually been meaning to show. Come on, StreamYard. Stop playing games, StreamYard. But this is how I draw. But, however, all right, let me see. Let me see if I could show you guys. All right, this is how I draw. What I do, character designs. I draw the characters and I have them. Remember, I had in my uppity knicker stream. I talked about ownership. That you have to own your IPs. There are a lot of guys who spend, and no disrespect to them. Give me a second here. Let me take a swig of water. There are a lot of comic book professionals, and I love their work. This is no shade upon them, but they chose a different path. They they basically spent their career drawing Spider-Man, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, X-Men, Justice League, etc. But they don't own any of those things. Someone else owns those IPs. So when they're actually old men, right? What will they pass along to their children? They can't pass the IP down so the children can make money off that IP, right? But what I'm trying to do is I want to build IPs. Okay. So even though I'm a quote unquote pro black guy, how many of you guys have heard that I'm a pro black guy? How many of you guys heard? Oh, thank you, Mr. Parkins. Uh, how many of you guys have heard I'm a pro black guy? Apparently, I'm a pro black guy because I'm proud to be black. I didn't think that being proud to be black meant you're pro black. I thought it was just being proud. Pro black, I would think, would be militant, like, yeah, right? Maybe I'm militant, whatever. However, even though I'm a pro black guy, this character is what? Right? It's all about ownership. Okay. It works out very well for me, very good for me, if this character becomes popular when I do the comic book and white people glom onto the character, right? Becomes popular. No one knows that a black guy, low key, owns the IP. You get what I'm saying? So that's a very good thing. That's something that we don't pay too much attention to as people of, I guess, people of color, you can say. All right, let me see what's going on here. That's when I have it in black and white. Let me show you here. Booty, 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 booty. That's the dead giveaway that I'm a black guy. So if they pay attention, right, even though the character's white, even though the character's white, if they pay attention to how it's drawn, they'll be like, wait a minute, you can't fool us, right? So I do a front view, side view, back view, face shot, right? Civilian gear. Then I do some shading, right? Black and white shading. See? And then it comes together. And eventually we do coloring. Okay. And that's what we're doing. This I did not sell because I want the actual intellectual property. Okay. But normally I do this for clients. Give me a second. Yeah, that's right, Truth. Her DNA test results came back like 25, 30% African. You know what I'm saying? That's how that's going down. Let's do Truth, yo. You're a bad influence, Truth. But yeah, so sorry about that. Had to had to take a look and see what's going on outside my window. You live in the hood. You never know what people are up to. And so this is also my style. This is how I draw it here. I don't know why. There we go. There it goes. See, more character designs. A lot of times, what I do is I start off with the weaponry first. If you can see, like the line work here, then I design the weaponry, and then I imagine who would use it. And I came up with this soldier woman here with all her gear, her pistol, her eyewear. Okay, back view. The green geisha. Now, notice most of these characters are not black. It's it's about ownership. One second. It's about ownership. Who owns the IP? Okay? A lot of times I see black artists and they only draw black characters. And no disrespect to them and no no shade. If that's your thing, more power to you. But you have to also keep in mind again, you have to keep in mind how come my there we go. The green geisha, right? You have to keep in mind something called ownership. So it's come to my attention that I haven't used this character yet. I will, but I did different versions of what she'd look like with different blades on her helmet or headpiece or whatever. And so what you want to do is basically have an IP floating around out there where other um, creators can actually get to work on. This is not my character, but it's what I did for a client, and so it kind of shows my process here. And the process goes from penciling, right, to inking, colors. Think, well, it's still free. This is where I did my thumbnail for the video. Now, this is my IP here. This is not my drawing. This is one of the guys that works for me. Okay. This is one of my artists. I basically have him work on things because I love the fact that his work looks realistic. However, it still has character. It's not stiff. So I created the characters already. Basically, now this group has a lot of black people in it. So you have like this Kali Shiva looking person here, right? And this guy back there. So basically, it's kind of like a black Star Trek. Okay. And I'm not going to tell the name or the plot or anything like that yet. I'll wait until there's a proper pitch. I'll put a proper pitch together and then I'll probably make a whole video surrounding it. So all these things, these little projects, and then my mortgage, doing commissions for people, my mortgage, etc., etc., etc. All these things depend on my hands. So now I'm gonna have a broken hand. I can't do fixes to this art here. I can't do any more of this stuff here because I wanted to fight with Macho. No, thank you. I'll pass. Macho can roll in the mud with the other pigs. Where was I here? Drew's, what do you say here? Let's go back to our brother. Jews took over Hollywood by promoting Anglo characters in movies, not Jews. There you go. Like Hebrew people. Let's call them Hebrew people. Let's not throw the word Jews around like that. Hold on, let me take a swig of water here. Though those people who are in these financial institutions, like movie studios, they've promoted white characters. Hold on, Morena Reyes says, I must have missed that one. No, no, no. Morena, this was actually for a playback. What I'm doing is I'm doing this live for a playback, and then I'll leave it so that it's there for people to take a look at their leisure, right? If I did it like I usually do my videos, like the one about the N word and stuff like that, I'll be spending a whole lot of time editing because I'm a perfectionist. But if it's a regular live stream, I know that I can just fire and forget. I can get it done and leave. What time is it here? 34 minutes. In a few minutes I'm gonna end this. I won't keep them long anymore. Okay? So Morena, I actually did this live in order to because the invitation to go fight from Macho on Rican Delphia's live stream, it had me thinking about how many times people who we're trying to build things with here, because I'm trying to build things with a lot of people here, and it's come to my attention that a lot of idiots who want to destroy things, they're those morons are blunt instruments. And so if we're trying to build something and then we have these morons goad us into oh, I'm sorry, Marcel. I forgot to drop the link. Give me a second. Let me drop the link. Copy. Hold on, everybody. I keep being a bad host because I keep forgetting stuff. Give me a minute. Where are we? All aboard. Do I shoot? Yes, I shoot. I'm a shotter. All aboard. Yes, I shoot. Shotter means gangster, though. So I'm not a gangster, but I know how to shoot. You know what I want to actually do is I want to get some military training. So like maybe join some sort of camp where I learn to use my gun properly. You know, learn some room clearing in case someone basically breaks into one of my houses. What I can actually do is know where the person is. How to defend a room, how to protect my loved ones, that sort of thing. That's what I want to actually do. You know what I mean? Oh, that's why. Because my guns are detailed. Yeah, they are. You know what? That is kind of a dead giveaway. Yeah, that a lot of people say that, but by the way I draw my weaponry, that I know my guns. Yeah, I guess I should probably not have these things slip anymore. Maybe I should stop drawing so detailed. But that's the hold on one second. What we got? Pablo. The place you build where you build is important. I would never build in a place where riots and looting occur. I'd rather build in places like Dykeman or a little village where people would defend their community. Pablo Emilio Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria, right? That's not what I meant by building. Although I guess if you want to build a physical place, then that's fine. I meant building. I meant building metaphorically. Okay. when I'm trying to build something with people, as in, build a network, right? Build some IPs. For example, this IP, I think you guys have seen this already. Those dudes, right? This is an IP. All right, that's what I'm talking about, Pablo. So if I'm building with Radical Latino, right? Radical Latino, imagine I have shows to do with Radical Latino, and Radical's waiting for me to come on there so that we can do the show. But see, that's us laughing, right? So Radical's waiting for us to come and do the show, and I go and I have a fight with someone, and then I get punched in my mouth, and then I can't speak. So who's gonna do the show with Rad? So everything gets taken down until my mouth heals. Then we can do the show. Do you see what I'm saying, Pablo? That's what I mean by building it and how someone can destroy what you're building. That's what I meant. Okay. And again, pe- like it's amazing that people are actually this stupid. So, for example, if you're fighting someone, how likely is it that you get punched in the mouth? Like guy gets a lucky punch, and then you get punched in the mouth. Now you've lost teeth, right? You can't speak. What's going on,
Yo,
my brother, my bro, my say? What's going on, bro?
chilling, brother, man. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. What happened was, I was doing a stream because I wanted to get my thoughts out and then kind of like fire and forget and then leave
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah,
I
understood.
was invited. I was on Fighter's stream and then I was
Mm-hmm.
invited onto another stream. Then when I showed
Mm-hmm.
up, it turned out it was pretty much, what do you call it? Kind of like an ambush. Basically, it was a cheap ambush with like no benefit. Like
Mm.
no one gained anything from that ambush. One, I showed up for actual discourse, and there was another
Mm-hmm.
guy on there. There was another guy on there who was there for actual discourse as well. I forgot what his name is.
Okay.
Um, but he's kind of like a white identified Hispanic. He believes in Spain and all that stuff. But I was looking to have discourse with him. The other people who didn't gain anything are Rican Delphia himself. Rican Delphia gained nothing. All he gained was, yeah, I invited him on this platform, and then so we could laugh, yo. And then someone like Macho, the only thing he got out of it was he told me to shut the fuck up and commanded Rican Delphia to kick me off the platform so he can tell me to suck his dick and then I can't say anything back to him. Those
Mm.
that's the kind of that's the mental caliber we're dealing with. So when we have these kinds of people, hey, what's up, all aboard? When we have these sorts of people in the community, what are you gonna build with someone like that? Like, what will you be building? You get what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying to Pablo here. It's not about building anything physical, like building a house or a building or anything like that in Dykeman, right? What's Dykeman? Chicago, New York? Where's that?
No, no, no,
Uh,
no, 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 no. Dykeman is the heist. He's that dude is probably a wannabe white supremacist. He's talking
oh, it's
about
one of
like
those
when the
guys. Okay.
Dominicans. Yeah. Yeah, he's talking about the incident that happened in Dykeman during the riots where kids from outside the
Oh,
neighborhood
okay, okay.
came
That's
in
what.
and then the Dominicans ran them off and shit. But then like in less than 48 hours, the king of Dykeman, who's a black Dominican by the way,
Yeah.
he called those kids to come back and they squashed whatever beef it was because they understood it was a misunderstanding.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So niggas be talking shit, but they don't fucking, they
Yeah.
don't know the fucking details. You know what I'm saying? As far as
Hmm.
like building and shit, like yo, I haven't been on YouTube because it
Yeah.
it, 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 it it dawned on me that I'm fighting with, to come on YouTube to fight with people that in most cases have never even opened up a fucking book
Yeah. Pretty much.
to actually have who have probably who probably get their research from 4chan, 8chan, and all them other motherfuckers.
Yes.
who have to
Hmm.
listen to other people who are not even qualified to teach anything. That's why I was like, yo, what the fuck is, yo, why am I fucking wasting my time fighting with these niggas till 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah. That.
saying?
Yeah.
That's why, bro.
Yeah. That. I mean, I don't do that either. I showed up there for proper discourse, and
I
then
saw something. I showed up there to support Denise, honestly, because I was invited to by Fighter to do his show, right? He
yeah.
wanted me to do his show. I was invited by him. I felt like he was trying to set Denise up to be jumped, like by
Yeah.
a whole bunch of his weirdo ass friends that really they're not even his friends. They don't even like him, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They don't. You know, I think he's mistaken. He thinks they do like him.
But they don't. You can clearly see
Yeah.
it. So that means
Hmm.
he's delusional. But I showed to
Dude,
support
and
her.
that's another thing. Yo, these are kids in most cases. These aren't even
Yeah.
fucking men, bro. These are fucking kids, bro. You know that they don't even, yo, they don't know, like you were saying before, you got a mortgage to pay, you got financial responsibilities and shit.
Yeah.
Yo,
Mhm.
these niggas are still living in their parents' house.
They they're, they're
Yeah.
they're living in their parents' like apartment. You're being nice by saying house
Yeah.
because these are like you can tell these are like trailer trash ass people that have
Yeah.
nothing. You know, like
Yeah.
why would you fight them? There's no reason. Come on,
Yeah.
you have responsibilities like you were
Yeah.
saying. You have skills. It's not worth fighting them. But I will definitely make fun of them on the internet when I'm bored. You know,
Well, I mean, the thing is, they don't know how petty. Like, you know what? The only thing that saves them from me is that I don't have the time. Do you realize dude? I sat here and made cartoons of me and Radical. This is the guy you want to fuck with? You think I won't make a cartoon of you and make money off of you while making fun of you?
it's
It's
not
just
just
I don't
that.
have the time right now.
You were also promoting his channel. When you came on, you were very polite and respectful. You
It-
promoted his channel. You actually
yeah,
gave him game. If he would have paid attention, like you gave him game. That's how you introduce a show. You
yeah,
know, this is how you talk to people who are watching your show. You had to
yeah.
remind him to promote his own stupid show. But I'm not just saying it's Fighter, but Fighter is an idiot in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I can't really say that kind of stuff on this platform.
Okay,
You,
I won't say it.
but the major disappointment was Rican Delphia. It's not really Fighter. It's Rican Delphia's platform where I showed up. There were two gentlemen there that I looked forward to have you know to have meaningful discourse with, where they had interesting topics. The two gentlemen, if you come across a stream here, go ahead and contact me, right? Get on my channel and request to have a live, and I'll have a live stream with you without someone like Rican Delphia or Macho or OG Del Rancho or Chem123, without any of the, or Chi or any of these people, you know? I can have a discourse with you and then we can discuss things at length, all right? But we're not doing this thing where we're all shouting at each other and then it evolves to, show up in the Bronx. I own the Bronx. How do you own the Bronx? I own the Bronx. You own the Bronx? Really, Macho? You own the Bronx? So those Jewish guys who own all those buildings, they work for you, Macho? I didn't know you rose like this, Macho. Wow. I know you rose like this.
Yo,
These
yo,
people
listen.
are delusional.
Yo,
Hold on one second. Pablo says
well,
you make
that's
your show more popular by making controversial streams. That's not always true, Pablo, because um, if people come on there and they're coming there for a very specific reason and they show up there and it's not what they signed up for, they're going to leave. So then what do you have? So if you have a platform where people discuss race and the intricacies of, the stratification of race and the caste systems in South America, Central America, the Caribbean, and things like that, and people come on there, and what it is people saying "suck my dick," yelling at each other, and things like that. You're gonna leave if that's not what you signed up for. You get what I'm saying, Pablo?
it's very
Who are you
juvenile.
talking
Yeah,
about, Guillermo? Yeah, it's very, very juvenile.
interesting.
It's very juvenile.
Um,
A
Daniel
real
Val,
conversation can take place, and then they make it. I will go there with them if that's what it turns into when I'm bored.
yeah.
But a real conversation can take place, and I think that they don't understand the value of actually learning something. Uh,
Well, I have no interest in teaching them the value of it either. I prefer that they remain ignorant because no. Here's the thing, right? Um, I used to like teaching racist a lesson, right? Racist and ignorant people. I used to like teaching them lessons because I thought maybe they'd learn something. But as it turns out, it's not lack of knowledge that they have; it's lack of humanity. If it was lack of knowledge, that would be one thing. But they know. Look, they know black people are not stupid. So when they say black people have low IQs, black people have never created any civilization, black people will never amount to anything, black people have never built anything, they've never invented the wheel, all these things, they don't believe it for 1 second. What it is they're pushing a narrative. So when you go, hey, I understand that you are ignorant of, and not ignorant in a bad way, but I understand that you are naive as to the fact that black people built things like Kush, Nubia, etc., the Great Zimbabwe. So here are these books right here. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. They're gonna take all that stuff and then use it to reinforce what they thought about you to begin with. So I'm perfectly happy with them remaining ignorant because what they're doing, any knowledge you give them, they will turn it and use it against you. Look at Shivo 2121. Shivo learned how to use his hands. He learned how to fight from black people. Shivo 2121 grew up with black people and they taught him how to fight, taught him how to, bob and weave, footwork or whatever. They taught him how to fight. And then now he's approaching people like me and not fighting me and radical Latino and telling us, yeah, come out and fight. So now you're telling us to come out and fight using stuff that black people taught you in order to damage us for telling you to stop calling black people monkeys. They can stay ignorant all aboard. I have no interest in making racists better racists. They can remain ignorant. I am elated to have them be ignorant because it was never their minds that was the problem to begin with. It was their
did you
hearts.
did you
So
notice that
I'm sorry, go ahead.
did you notice that the things that they say, like, it doesn't evolve. These are the same dog whistles
Yeah,
and stereotypes that they've been saying.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
it doesn't even evolve. You can't think of anything better
Yeah, that's the thing.
than calling a chimp a monkey. Like, these are
Yeah,
two different animals. These are like one
yeah,
is a
the two different
primate.
species
It,
there. Yeah,
it doesn't
but
even.
but listen. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that it doesn't even evolve. That's how stupid racism is. It's like it's
Yeah,
stuck in one era, and it doesn't even get like it doesn't get better. It doesn't
no, it
evolve.
doesn't.
It's just like a very primal way of thinking. Like, please, you're right. Don't educate these idiots.
Yeah, I'm perfectly happy with them remaining
What
as ignorant as possible. I have no interest in making them better people. That's the
what
other thing. There's this guy called Daryl something. I forgot what his name was, but he made a career out of turning Klansmen into functional citizens or whatever, right? You know about him, right? It's
Which
this
guy?
guy.
I think it's the black
He's
guy
kind of,
that he likes to go and is it the black guy, right? The one
yeah.
that goes
Hmm.
and into the clan and stuff. He was able to he wants basically to hug clan members. That's not me.
Yeah, you're hugging Klansmen. You're hugging whole Klansmen out here.
I'm not doing
And then,
it.
yeah, I got him to see my humanity. Oh, congratulations, Daryl.
They think you're
Congratulations.
a human.
Like,
They just hate you. They
yeah,
hate you for no reason.
no, well, here's the thing. I don't pretend that those people weren't changed. I'm pretty sure that, a lot of them genuinely changed. Like, they were Klansmen. They're no longer Klansmen because of Daryl. But I don't know if his name's actually Daryl. We're using that name provisionally, all right? But the thing is, it's not my responsibility to fix broken people. A lot of women think like they have to do this as well, right? So a lot of women like to fix broken men, and they think sex will do it. They think kindness will do it. They think giving the guy good talking to will do it. They think nurturing them will do it. Well, you're not a psychologist, and you're not, it's not build a bear and or build a nigger. Like, if the dude is broken, he's broken. So it's the same thing with me and racists. These are broken people, and I have no responsibility to mend those pieces and bring them back together.
That's
I
true.
have no, because when you bring them back together as a whole person, they're gonna turn around and call you an ape. And one of these gentlemen came on here. It was me, him, and Radical, and I couldn't get this out of my mind that he called uh Serena Williams a monkey. He outright. I mean, he thought it was okay to come on this platform and do this. You know, and I remained civil. And bid him. Like, he stayed on the platform even after saying that. He stayed on the platform, and at the end of it, I bid him, farewell. All right, cool, whatever. But it's still here. Like, it's still
Mhm.
sitting with me. There's the metaphorical gorilla is still in the room. Like, these are the kind of traumas that these people cause. And the thing is, this isn't a white guy. This is a Hispanic guy. That's what I was telling Rad. Like, there's some people, some Hispanics that, Latinos. He doesn't like the word Hispanic. There's some Latinos we're not gonna build anything with. What are you gonna build with a dude like that?
Nothing.
You
I
know,
I
uh,
I
uh, uh,
really,
uh, a world champion for how many years has Serena been world champion?
Serena,
So
she's never bothered anyone. That's the thing. She's never
and
bothered
she not,
anyone. She's not
uh,
a troublemaker. She's not out here getting like charges for
yeah.
vehicular manslaughter and shit. She's not, forgive me. She's not like doing anything wrong. So I don't get what the hate is.
Mhm. And the thing is, I'm not even sure it's completely hate. I think it's just disdain. For you to sit there and you call the lady a monkey,
They
and the
question
thing
her
is, you're not a white person. You're a
they question her
Hispanic person.
gender.
So there's black in you.
But that's the thing about racism. They don't. They just follow the playbook. They can't even come up with their own
Yeah.
ideas of why they don't like someone. That's silly. It's ridiculous. Like, you were oppressed by the same people. Why are you using their
Hmm.
handbook? For
Their
real?
handbook.
because they don't look at it that way. They've created an alternate reality in their mind,
Hmm.
okay, where they think that they are part of the dominant class,
They
but
know
they
they're
don't
not.
seem
That's
to
not true.
understand. They don't seem to understand that when these white motherfuckers are saying build the wall, it's precisely
Hmm.
to keep people that look like them out.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't register
Hmm.
to them because they see themselves as something else.
But the thing is,
You
Wow.
understand?
they see
They see
themselves
them.
as something else. They just don't want to be on the bottom, and they see African Americans as being on the bottom. So they're gonna do whatever they can to claw the way up from being the bottom. Like, why don't you just try to just like mess up the system, dismantle this stupid system, instead of trying to be like, I'm the good one. Like, they're trying to take over. Like, for example,
Yeah,
the Asian
you know,
class. The Asian class,
mm,
the Asians were seen as
you,
the acceptable minority, right? But then you see where that got them.
hmm
You know,
Well, look, what's going on is that white supremacy is hurting for people. So
Yeah.
because they're hurting for people, they're starting to fucking move goalposts.
Yeah.
But if you
yes,
ever notice, every time some shit goes down, they move the goalpost back to their original spot.
yeah,
Example:
Yep.
in this country, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, North Africans and Middle Easterns petitioned the federal government to be recognized as white because at that time, if you weren't white, you could not become an American citizen. They fought it in the courts and they ultimately won the right to be called and labeled white in this country. Okay, so
Wow.
that's why racial categories, there is no North African, there is no Middle Eastern, there is no Persian. You understand? Because
Hmm.
because for the federal government's purposes, they consider that to be white. Now we all know that they're not white. We know this. It's only convenient for the white supremacists to call them white when it fits their agenda. But other than
Huh.
that, every time you have something like 9/11, every time you have some sort of terrorist attack, ever since you have some sort of bullshit going on, right? These white people have no problems turning around and starting to fuck with these people. And it doesn't
Yes,
Yep.
necessarily
and killing
have to
them,
mean
killing them by the hundreds of
that it's
thousands.
because they're Muslim. Because in Vice News, I think it was Vice or Vice News, a while back did a report on Middle Eastern Christians here in this country and in Europe that was still suffering the same fucking amount of persecution as their Muslim brethren.
Wow.
You
And you,
understand? So you call them white when it's convenient for you to boast an agenda and to
Hmm.
lift your numbers. But when
yes,
some shit goes down and one of them did it, then you start calling them Sam niggers, you start calling them all sorts of shit, and now you start
Hmm.
drawing fucking lines and the goalposts go back to where they were.
right.
Wow.
And this is the thing. There's those children, the people in that area. They're suffering right now. There's like they're in famine right now. There's like a water crisis. No, they don't care about them now because they don't need them at this point. So
Wow.
that's what they do. That's what whiteness gets you because whiteness is really not even a thing, right? It was
Hmm.
it really
Uh,
wasn't
it's
until
manufactured. Yeah.
they made it
Yeah.
because the color of your skin really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. We science has proven this,
Yep.
but they will unite with it. But look, for example, they don't like Jews. Jews look exactly like them. Like
Yep.
there's Ashkenazi Jews. There's
Well,
white
he,
Jews.
it's funny you mention that because if you look at Jared Taylor and his organization, American Renaissance, they want to he's been working to try to include white Jews in his organization. But what's going on?
Yeah.
A
He
lot
wants
of
the
the white
numbers, the
supremacists that are
money,
members are rejecting the Jews,
because
and he's
no,
trying to make peace between them. And but wait a minute. And the thing is that in white supremacy, especially here in America and in Europe too, the anti-Jewry is so profoundly ingrained in its theology and its philosophy that they simply do not. If you're Jewish or you have Jewish ancestry, you're simply not white.
Hmm.
And Jared Taylor's like, oh, but they're European. Well, that actually goes against what a lot of Jews proclaim, because even the European Jews claim to be the descendants of the ancient Hebrews from the Bible. But the ancient Hebrews
Hmm.
from the Bible were definitely not white. So then what
amazing.
the fuck
Huh.
are you? Who you trying to be?
Racists know
Hmm.
that their numbers are
You
limited.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Their
Yeah.
numbers limited. They're gonna be. That's why they're recruiting. Like that's why Mexicans are like trying to jump in. You're not white, bro.
Hmm.
You're not. But their numbers are dwindling, so they're trying to recruit numbers from wherever they can get it. Just like before, they didn't consider Irish people to be white. They didn't consider Italians to be white, but then their numbers were dwindling then, so they had to recruit more people.
Southern
So
Europeans had Southern Europeans people don't. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, no, you can go.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Okay. People don't understand the history of Ireland and how it related to Great Britain. Ireland, when it was going through the Irish potato famine, the English lords used to get their food from the Irish. When
Yes.
the Irish potato famine started in the 1850s, and the Irish started migrating because they were fucking dying out of starvation, the
Mhm.
English lords still demanded that their Irish vassals provide their food.
Yes.
Mm.
You
And
understand what I'm saying?
people make fun of Irish people for eating potatoes. The reason they ate potatoes, the reason is because it was a cheap and it was a cheap food source. But then
Yeah.
there was like a mold that grew on all of the potatoes. It was like a
Yeah,
mold that just attacked their potatoes, and so then they had no food. Like people died, hundreds of thousands, I believe, died. So some people, that's why there's so many Irish people in America. They had to leave because they were giving
Huh.
all of
yeah,
their good produce to England.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. To the
exactly. And there was
king.
something in the 1850s. There
Wow.
was something like 5 to 10,000 Irish coming to New York every single week.
And
Okay,
Huh.
they
and
didn't want them here.
that,
The people that were here, because they were probably descended from England and or whatever. They didn't want them in America, so they would
mm-mm.
say Irish need not apply for like jobs. They discriminated against them as well, right? But then at some point they got accepted into whiteness. At some point they were like, you know what? You're white too. You're white.
But if you notice, if you look at Northern Ireland, all right, and you look at the IRA, so the Irish Republican Army, and its political faction Sinn Féin. I used to have contacts inside of that. They inside of Sinn Féin, very good people, always treated me with a lot of respect. Um, they had camaraderie with the Palestinian Liberation Organization, the PLO, under Yasser Arafat. They had a relationship with ETA, the Basques from Spain that were trying to declare independence.
Yes,
You
I
understand? They
Mm.
had a good relationship. They had a good relationship with Fidel Castro's revolution in Cuba. All
that's
right,
it.
so
Yeah.
these guys were on some other shit. You understand? And
Hmm.
they, their whole thing was to unify Northern Ireland with the rest of Ireland, and they were completely against the Anglo presence inside of Ireland. So this goes back centuries. I mean, we're talking about 10 centuries of struggle between the Irish and the British.
Yeah, they,
Or not
they
even the Irish and the British, the Irish and the English, because Scotland right now, people don't realize, Scotland right now under Nicola Sturgeon, they're getting ready to do another independence vote, and this time they're probably gonna succeed.
Hmm.
Dude, everybody is recognizing their own potential. I don't see the Scottish on this white supremacist bullshit. I don't see the Scottish Labour Party promoting this. They're promoting brotherhood. Sinn Féin in Ireland is promoting brotherhood. A lot of these organizations, and it's not a question of left or right. These are nationalist organizations,
mhm,
and they want to do what's the best for their country, but they're not sitting here talking shit about other people.
mhm.
You feel me? So, and Brotet, what you were saying before about
Yo.
that's called scientific racism, and scientific racism was
Mm.
popular in the 19th century.
Well, it's
It's
like
been
eugenics,
actively debunked since then. But it's
like
like,
eugenics,
Yep.
huh? It
like
this no,
with
this
the
was
low
before
IQ when
eugenics.
they
Eugenics
try to.
actually comes from it. Scientific racism was basically trying to divide humanity up by what was called the original races.
Yeah.
So that's when they started including things like the length of the shin bone, the skull measurements,
Hmm.
this and that, and Pacific Islanders are really Africans because their skulls are measure the same circumference as an African skull, and it's been actively debunked. But this was wildly popular in the 19th century in order to prove the superiority of the white man. Okay. However, it still
Yeah.
remains very pervasive within white supremacy. And you can hear people like Richard Spencer talk about this shit. Because he's one of the main proponents of it
Hmm.
still to this day. Even though he's been proven wrong time and time again, he
Well,
still
that's
talks
why I
about
say
it.
racism
Yep.
does not evolve. Racism doesn't evolve. It's like honestly, if it wasn't attractive, right? The goal of racism is to get numbers because on its own,
Yeah.
it's not a good concept. It's not like the concept of racism is to keep white people and on the top, like to steal resources, really, right? But racism on its own is not a great concept. I don't know how it's worked for this long. It's stupid.
Hmm.
Like it doesn't even evolve, but they just keep using the same narrative, the same the same principles that they used in the 1900s, in the 1800s. Like, I would like for them to at least do better. Like, try to convince me.
Do better.
Yeah, like it's not even
Yep.
interesting.
I hear you.
If they can't, they can't. They can't because they have to. You said it yourself. It doesn't involve. So they have to keep rehashing things that they were using 200 years ago and put it in a modern context in order to attempt to prove their point.
And for some reason, it works for some
That's
stupid
that
people.
that's really what's going on.
Hmm.
It
Like,
because
I don't
again
the
they're
same monkey
creating an
jokes.
alternate reality inside their mind.
It's just sad. It's really sad.
Like
Like,
okay, so look,
it's the same monkey
bro,
joke.
like look
The
at
same.
this fucking guy. Look at this
Oh my
fucking guy.
god, I'm
Look
tired
at
of
this
it.
Chivo character, right?
Who made
Okay,
this video?
bro. Everybody and their mother say he's black. He
He's
knows
black.
he's black. He fucking understand, but he's black. But he keeps, he in his brain, he's created this alternate reality where he's not black anymore.
But do you think that
So
that
he goes and he'll
racism is
call
mental
Fighter a
illness?
nigger, but yet
You think,
he is calling Fighter what he is himself. So
no, but that's the thing. Is it mental illness?
I don't. That's why I would imagine that's why Fighter laughed. I
No,
would
for
imagine that's why Fighter
Fighter,
laughed.
I've heard Fighter say some very anti-black things, and that's why I don't like
Yeah.
him, right? So, but in Fighter is way darker than me, right? And that's why I make fun of him about it because I just want him to know, like, you are not white, and I don't. Is like, are you? Is it a mental illness? What are we
I've never
dealing
heard
with
Fighter
here?
cut. I've never heard Fighter say that he was white. I don't
Fighter,
know. I don't know what's been going on
Fighter
because I
told
really haven't
me.
been listening to nothing lately.
Well,
Huh?
Fighter said something
Yeah.
that was very he was saying a bunch of racist things. And it's like, and I always remind him and the other guy, the Philadelphia, whatever his name is, I said, if I saw you and I didn't hear you talk, I would think that you were African American. I wouldn't think that,
Like,
oh,
Oh,
okay,
Rican
give
Belfier.
me
Yeah,
an
Rican Belfier is
example
a
of
whole
like
black guy.
that would never
no him I don't know and I don't care to know.
but
What
it's
was Fighter?
like,
Because
why
I'm
what are they
cool with Fighter,
clinging to?
so
You can cling to culture. You can appreciate your culture. But I'm saying if a police officer thought you fit the description, they're gonna shoot your ass or do whatever. You're not gonna
Hmm.
they're not gonna be like, oh, he's Dominican and Puerto Rican. Shit. Like they're not gonna do that. They're gonna you look this you you're you're the same. Your racial makeup is very similar to the racial makeup of an African American or of a Haitian. It's very similar.
Wow.
It's
Yep.
slightly different, but I don't think white people don't see color anyway. They don't see the difference in your color. You could be 10 shades lighter and they're gonna call you dark skin. It doesn't matter. So
Yep.
I don't get their
Look,
point.
look at some
I
people. Some of our people up in Europe. You know, just a few shades darker than white people, and they call them all kinds of. Was it which one of them was it? Beethoven or one of those guys?
Beethoven
Who
was
had some.
they said he was black.
Yeah, yeah, he had some sort of ancestry, and they kept on calling him the Dark One and all that stuff.
But
And
look,
basically, he was a light skinned guy.
but look at slavery. Just slavery, for example. There were people because you had to be 136. Um, you had to get to that point to not be considered black, right? I don't know what 136 is in percentage wise, like in
Yeah.
DNA, but I'm saying they were enslaving people that looked almost completely white. Like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference at all, right? There would be like how they I
if I'm
researched
not
Wow.
it. You
mistaken,
could tell by the way they speak, right? That's the only way they could tell that
Yeah.
these were slaves, these were niggers, and the other people were something different, right? Because they were
Yeah.
so delusional, right?
what
The women thought that their husbands were being around black people so much they started to look like them. Like how ignorant do you have to be? These are their children. These are your
uh,
own,
the way
and
that
you're
I
enslaving your own
understood
children.
the
That is
way
just
that I
like
understood the one drop rule. Hmm?
one drop, right? That is some like deep
Yeah,
hatred and delusion. That is like weird to me. I cannot even fathom having my
but people don't understand. The one drop rule is basic. It was pervasive, not just here in America. I mean, they did this shit in Europe too.
everywhere.
People who were of people where white people were in control instituted this kind of shit.
But they
You
did
know,
it
I
to their
mean,
own people as
fuck.
well.
Look. Oh yeah. Well,
I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you, the
because I
children in the
mean,
industrial
the
revolution,
slave master. Mm,
in the industrial revolution, they would have jobs like chimney sweeps. They would have children doing like dangerous jobs where they could die. Right?
Yeah.
They had no concern for their own people. Like they were just violent and like monsters, in my opinion. They did it to their own people,
well,
even their children. So many children died going in coal
yeah.
mines, going in chimneys, working on machines that were just made like just barely big enough for a child to go through, so a child would do the job. You know. So imagine what they would think about
Yeah.
another race.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, but again,
This is
you
what I
take
was
this into
saying, where it's never been
into
about
consideration.
what's in their head. It's about what's in their hearts, because they would do this to each other. Do this to each other. Have a
Oh, I have.
kid do this.
Oh, I have no doubt.
They had I forgot what the name was for it, but they would even have kids on ships do this, like crawl into cannons, and like, you imagine a kid crawling into a cannon to retrieve some stuff out of it. They would have
And you know
people
it's a
like kids
dangerous
do this
job.
sort
You
of
know
stuff.
that the possibility is that you could blow that the child could die. They had no concern for
Yeah.
that. They had to make child labor laws for this reason. It wasn't because indigenous people were sitting here like forcing their children to do something they could die from. It's because they were sending children to do like on a death mission. So that's what they were doing. And they had to be
Yeah.
stopped from it.
Yeah.
But so I can't. I'm not surprised that they did slavery and all of that. Look what they did to their own children.
Wow.
And in
Like,
some cases, actually enslaved their own
you
children.
know.
Because
Oh
you
yeah.
saw the American slave masters enslaving their own children that they had with the fucking slaves.
Yeah, these
They
were
didn't
my
give a fuck.
children.
They still fight. In some cases, they would give their offspring certain privileges,
Well, that's why I
but they were
don't
still
I
fucking
don't
slaves.
I don't like the term. I don't like house inward. I don't like
House
bedouin. I don't
slave.
like that.
Yeah. House
I don't
niggas.
like that because sometimes these are their own children. They should really be they should be in a better position, right? Because they're their children. But that's not how it works. Being in the
Hmm.
house made you closer to your oppressor. I would never be in the house. If I was a slave, I would never want to be next to them. Like it
Hmm.
made you it made you more
That,
susceptible to
that's
rape.
why a lot of the runaways were the house slaves, because they saw the evil up close.
Firsthand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And never
You
got to
out in
get
the
away.
field, yeah.
They never got to get
Yeah,
away
and,
and go
and
to
you don't.
their family.
Yep. Can you imagine, especially if you become one of their favorites, right? And so now you got to be with this demon when he's sneaking away from his wife to come lay up with you in
No,
your in your in
he
your
has to
maid's
be. He was
maid's
thinking about it
chamber.
all day. He was thinking about it the entire day. You know that. And
Hmm.
so let's not blame the woman for surviving. And it wasn't just women. Men had to go
Yeah.
through it too. You think if
Hmm.
if you owned slaves and you think there weren't gay people back then? There was
Yeah,
gay there was gay
exactly. Well, not just gay, but there's some just like in prison there's straight men who engage in gay sex.
well, yeah.
So
And there was
with
also men that love little children. And that's the scariest part. You know
wow.
how many little girls they were doing that to? And no one could stop them? Little boys? Oh, it was just
Yeah.
it was horrible. I can't imagine living in that time period. I would have I don't know what I would do. I have ideas on what I would have done, but I
Yeah.
don't know what I would have
Yeah.
done to survive in that time period. That is a horrible
Wow.
stain on humanity. Ugh.
Hmm, yeah, but yeah. All right. So I'm gonna start wrapping this up. I'm gonna actually end this stream right now. I think we kind of chopped it up a little bit. That was pretty cool. And I'm about to maybe take a nap. Been working, and thank you guys for
Stay in the
stopping
chat
through.
after.
I'm sorry, what?
Stay in the chat after because I have something I want to pitch to you.
Oh, sure. All right, cool. Yeah, let me end the broadcast. Thank you guys for listening in. Thank you so much for sharing your morning with us. You know, and for enjoying the wonderful imagery of Shivo here. All right. So ending the stream in five, four, three, two. This is how the fuck you